Loading. Everything's loading. I'm so okay. I'm here. As everything's just been slow. Anyway, I had to make a decision on what to talk on, so I've decided to talk on something that I have a lot of images for, and that is Shut Hell, which is kind of an isekai. It feels more like it's like one of those like regret. I have a coworker, and he reads a lot of like would it be Danhua, the Chinese mangas, mostly the martial arts stuff, and he loves reading basically regression stories where characters go like either like in their past or like in the past of their world or something like that, and they mess around in the past and do stuff. And that is kind of what Shut Hell is. It is kind of funny though, since it is set in China. But it is interesting. So basically like these reincarnations of these characters in the past. One of them being Shut Hell, who is a woman, she basically got reborn as a man. And this guy ends up running into the reincarnation of one of the people in the past that Shut Hell helped out. And so, but she remembers the past, but he doesn't. And so when they run into each other and they hang out for a while, he ends up slipping back in time and ends up possessing Shut Hell after Shut Hell was basically hung. She basically died, and he basically possessed her, and she came back to life. And Shut Hell is basically this fucked up, crazy warrior woman who watched all her friends get shot to death. And since she basically lost everything, she's just a wild animal. And my type of woman. And I gotta say, yes, this manga, it can be pretty brutal at times. It's also fairly old. I think it came... Well, dude, I hate saying this. It's basically 20 years old, which is crazy. Wait, no, not 20 years old. What am I saying? No. Wait, is it? No. It came out in 2010? I can't remember exactly. Like 2010. Like, it ran from, like, I think, like, 2009. 13 years old, I guess. I don't know. Time is fucked up for me. But... And it basically... It's kind of interesting. Okay, I didn't get this, like, right away. To be honest, I don't understand why they need to do the traveling to the past stuff and possessing people. Because that is, like, it feels like a very minor thing that happens. And maybe in the future, because I'm only halfway through. There's a lot of chapters. I'm only halfway through the whole story. Liar! And I really don't see how the guy taking over Shut Hell has that much of effect. I feel like you could have the same effect if like Shut Hell like lost consciousness after she was hung and basically died and just like ended up with a different personality, and the two personalities just switch back and forth. This is basically what happens with her. So I don't really... It feels kind of pointless, in my opinion. Like, there's, like, no... nothing, really. But to be honest, what this really feels like... You know, like, the Golden Age arc in Berserk? That's basically how all the fighting and stuff is. Like, yes, the people fighting are kind of, like... have, like, superhuman agility and stuff. So, like, running on walls... doing crazy flips over horses and shooting arrows like crazy, but it's not like too ridiculous that it like makes it like super fantasy. So it's kind of like a realistic, but with like tiny hints of like fantasy stuff within it. But basically it's like I say more like a kind of like a historical epic almost, because basically it's about the Mongols and their basically plans to conquer China, and basically they are trying to commit I'm gonna spoil one of the major plot points. The whole reason why this part of this war kicked off is because there is a region, because China breaks up, but there was a region in China where they kind of had like their own dialect and language, and so the Khan of the Mongols had actually been captured by this group of people, and basically because he was doing thievery and shit as a young lad, they ended up marking him with their language on his back. And so this is like a problem for him, so he can't show his back because it has been marked with this certain language. And so he basically wants to genocide all of this group of people. It's pretty fucked up, because he doesn't want people to understand that it basically says that he's a slave to this like group of people, because it will ruin his like legitimacy and power. I know. It's pretty crazy. And so he is trying to find, basically there's like this Rosetta Stone that has the language in it, and he wants to destroy the whole culture, the whole language, everything about this nation. But then one of his sons basically doesn't want that to happen, and his son is also the girl of the future that was reincarnated, and his son wants to protect the language so it doesn't disappear, because language is sacred. And I mean, there are moments in it where it's like really sad when Shut Hell, when the kid writes down the names of Shut Hell's friends, because Shut Hell she got fucking right. And so he writes down the names of all her comrades for her. And I mean, I guess I'll just read. Even if I die tomorrow, they will not vanish. With these writings, my friends' names, they won't be forgotten. I can't say his name. It's like Yurul. So this is writing, yeah. And so basically I'm assuming the whole point and overarching theme of the story is basically how important storytelling in history is to everything. Because I mean, if you're not recorded in history, then you are completely forgotten. You're gone from history. And then alright, so I have like two favorite characters. So there is Shut Hell. I like her. She's a crazy redheaded beast woman, basically. Tomboy. Oof. And then there's the brother of the other main character. Well, he's the half brother, because they share the same mom. Because basically the Khan kind of he had his way with the guy's mom. But the brother, oh man, he's probably my favorite character, because he has to do fucked up shit, because one, he doesn't want his little brother to die, but also he wants to get revenge for his clan, because they have to go through a whole bunch of shit thanks to the fucking leader of the Mongols. But basically, like he's tasked with hunting down his brother and getting back the stone, or like destroying it. And then also, I mean, at the beginning of the story, he's tasked with hunting down Shut Hell, because she was killing a bunch of Mongols. Because she absolutely hates Mongols. But my god, he's fucking badass. He's probably my favorite character. Shut Hell, him, and then his second in command, who leads. Basically, I consider them like cataphracts. Basically, armored horse cavalry. I fucking the things I like do too. Cataphracts. I love them. But basically, him and Shut Hell, man, they have a rivalry. Well, I mean, they fought like multiple times, because I mean, like I said, he had to hunt her down, and then she's also protecting his brother when he's hunting down his brother, so they have to fight. Yeah, they're And then basically, since the older brother basically he's lost pretty much everything, and so his only goal left is to basically kill the leader of the Mongols, and then maybe help his brother out. But I also like too, because there's actually a bunch of drama going on with the the Mongol leader and his well, he has some other children too, and so they're all kind of fighting to be the next leader. But in my opinion, I mean, this is pretty good. I don't feel, I still don't feel like the people from the future controlling people in the past. It doesn't really, I still think it doesn't really add anything to the story. It's like they're there. Sometimes Shut Hell gets possessed by the guy in the future, and then I don't know if the kid gets possessed by the girl in the future. It is a little bit weird though, because there is a bit of an age gap. Because Shut Hell is a lot older than the kid, I will say.
You see how this looks, right?
But I mean, the two of them in the future seem like they're around the same age, because I mean they're high schoolers. But in the past, Shut Hell's obviously a woman who is at least in her 20s, and then I don't know, the kid is basically, I think he's pretty sure he's like in his early teens. Also, a thing I will mention, there was a random moment that happened with there's a character I don't like. Her name is Veronica. I don't like her. I know they try to make you feel like sympathetic for her because they're, oh, those darn Christians over in Europe, they branded her as a witch because she did some evil stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, or whatever. Well, typical. I feel like this is like a typical thing in a lot of Japanese stuff where the depiction of Christians, and especially religious stuff. So I'm like, oh great, yeah. But I don't like her. She's a scheming piece of shit, and she causes a bunch of issues to happen. And then also for some reason, I don't know why, but Shut Hell, after losing the kid again, ends up deciding to do some Yuri stuff with her, which I'm like, why? Why? I don't understand. It's like, And then I think after that, I only read like a few more chapters because I don't know. I get busy because I was like, I need to read some other stuff, because I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm basically on chapter 78. And so, like, the last thing that happened is the older brother, since, like, a big battle happened between a lot of the family members when, they're trying to stage a assassination. I believe they're trying to the other half-brothers were trying to stage assassination against the Khan, basically. And then Shut Hell got involved, and then the other brother, basically everyone was just like, boom, there. And a big fight broke out with everyone trying to do all their own things. But yeah. And then the poor brother that I like got shot to shit. But he escaped. He still has his black horse with him. Which has been with him since the beginning. Yeah, I do really find this manga enjoyable. Besides the Yuri stuff and then the reincarnation possession stuff, I just I don't really understand that. Maybe they'll explain it a little bit more. It just happens every once in a while that Shut Hell gets possessed by the guy in the future. And I mean, some people notice that, yeah, you like kind of act differently every once in a while. It's like, what? What you talking about? But yeah. If you want I'm actually pretty sure this is no award-winning manga. So, I will say it is pretty decent. I like the fights. I like the historical context around it. Making something that's historical, but also making it like fiction is very fun. I kind of wish there was more stuff like this. I really, you know what manga I really wanted to read was the story about Eumenes, Alexander's secretary. Because there was a manga about him, and I wanted to read it, but when I finally decided to read it, and I went to like the page that I had saved to read it, it was all gone. I mean, the page is still there with like, the cover, but there's no pages to read, and I'm like, oh, damn it. Because I think that's also kind of like historical fiction. And also, I'm pretty sure people have said it's kind of like basically like a biography. And it's like, it's kind of crazy having a manga about a secretary of Alexander like this. It's I mean, come on. But I gotta say, if you know Eumenes, he actually lived a very interesting life, because he was basically like a low-level officer, ended up becoming the secretary for Alexander after Philip died. It's like, okay, I'm the secretary. and then Alex, goes all the way out there with Alexander, all the way to the Indus River, and then all the way back to Babylon, and then Alexander dies, and then all shit breaks loose, and all of a sudden Eumenes is not a secretary anymore, but he's a fucking general of like, I'm pretty sure they were the I'd say like loyalists to Alexander, because the problem was I'm forgetting his name. It's not was it Pericles or not Perdiccas? I can't remember. It started with a P. The P guy, like, he wanted to be loyal to Alexander, and we're gonna take his body back to Macedon, and we're gonna have was his son from Roxanne, or was it from his other wife that they're gonna make king, basically? But then all hell broke loose when Ptolemy abducted Alexander's coffin. And then there was basically like a three-way war going on that eventually just became bigger and bigger, with more different people getting involved. Dude, I wish there was like a Diadochi like show or something. That'd be so amazing. But Eumenes ended up losing to Antigonus the One Eye. I'll be honest, Antigonus, he was a conquering dude. Yeah, you gotta say, him and his son, they got shit done. It wasn't until what was it? It was basically Seleucus, Lysimachus, and Ptolemy all got together, and they beat. Actually, Pierce was there too, and he was a prisoner of war basically underneath the Ptolemies, and so they had him help out in the battle against Antigonus. It happened in, I think, Anatolia. I can't remember where exactly, but they fought and beat Antigonus the One Eye and his son, and basically finally finished off the Antigonoid dynasty that basically controlled most of what was left of Alexander's empire. And then Seleucus and Ptolemy fought over. After they defeated him, they just like, okay, now we hate each other. It's like, damn, man, that's history for you. And then Demetrius, even though his dad died in the battle, he was able to escape, and then he was survived on some island for a long time. Demetrius the MILF Hunter, that's what they call him. And he I think eventually he was able to gather enough forces that he ended up actually taking over Macedon. And then, funny enough, Philip the Fifth was basically his grandson, I think it was. Ended up fighting the wars against the Romans when they invaded Greece, which unfortunately he lost. It's history. History is sometimes stranger than fiction. It's insane. Well, anyway, that's Shut Hell. Go read it if you're interested. Pretty decent. I wish I could have a Shut Hell as a wife.
じゃあこれが上司